All right, let's get it going on. We're gonna have a good video today. Want to go racing. Everyone complains, oh, you never go racing. You never go racing. It rains like every other day here. I'm trying to go racing. I literally got like racing set up for the next like 4 weekends. As long as it doesn't rain, we're going racing. Over here on the dyno, we got Charlie Murphy. Got it all strapped down. What you messing with, Ben? Got my laptop here. Today officially kicks off my first day of tuning. So you guys are now live on the John Dock School of Tuning. At this point in time, there's no telling where it could end. No telling at all. I talked to Devin. He gave me a recommendation on a laptop, and I did not follow his recommendation. Like everything else, not a good listener, but we're going to try. Let me clean this camera off. It's got like a weird like shadow to it. Oh my God, so much better. All right, so I'm over here on a GoPro. I got my GoPro 7. The fans, when you run the dyno, like the fans mess the audio up. So I'm hoping the audio will be good on this. We're gonna dyno Charlie Murphy, get everything running and see what it makes. We got it strapped down on the dyno, put new wastegate on it, lowered it, put different rear gear in it, and now we should be good to go. So I think we're ready to rock. Ben's hooking up the fuel pressure sensor. Look at that thing just cracked. Pissed. I still have the wideband in the not correct position, but it's okay. So I'm gonna give you guys a little rundown on what the setup is. It's a aftermarket pistons, and then like, I'm not sure what rods are in it. It's supposed to say aftermarket pistons, aftermarket rods, stock crank. So pistons, rods 5.3, some stock LS heads, Edelbrock intake, Bosch 10 injectors on E85 with a Magnafuel 750 pump, single turbo, Holley Terminator setup, power glide. Let's see, other than that, I mean, the car runs good. It runs really cool. We've had a massive amount of wiring issues that we're all getting figured out. A couple other issues with the car we're getting figured out. I bought this car as my giveaway car, and generally the giveaway stuff I try to get like a little bit closer to complete so I don't have to spend that much time on it, but I'll spend a lot of time, put a decent amount of money in this thing, and I think we got it sitting right now. We're gonna try to make some power and creep up on the boost control. We've made like 450 before? I think it made 450. We don't need to verify.
Up arrow. We made this a down arrow. One of those arrows.
We don't need. I think it made like 450, but it had some wastegate issues and it had some wiring issues. We got it all figured out. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I put a racecraft seat in there, racecraft lower control arm brackets. So look at that. Oh, Phil, how's my fender rolling look? It doesn't, dude. I did it with a hammer. If you put your like eye right up against it, it might have a touch of wave, but other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good. Look what you got me filming on right now.
Is that what is that, 5?
It's a 7.
Oh, you'll be all right.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Good quality tape.
All right, so I'm gonna fire this thing up, make a couple wastegate pulls, verify that the fuel and everything's correct. Now, when I say the O2 is not in the ideal position, I want it lower and I want it on this side. So I want it like right here, but I just never get around to ordering an O2 bung. So it's a little high right now, but at wide open throttle, it does read what we believe is correct. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So without further ado, we're gonna get it fired up and see what kind of power we make. We know for a fact with a car that is heavier than this, if it makes 800 horsepower, like 814, we can go out and run 540s. So it'd be nice to make a little bit more horsepower than that. I got to do some body work, some alignment here, because listen to this. Oh God, it's more pissed now. I don't know what happened to this fender, but it's pissed. This door doesn't open at this point in time. All right, first pull, wastegate, went faster with a shorter gear. It went 400, it went 400 miles an hour. It went 115 miles an hour, and on that pull, I cut it off at like 60 or 5,500 RPMs. I was a little bit short. The last pull we made with the 350 gear, it went 100 miles an hour at 6,000 RPMs because the converter's so damn tight and that gear was so long it couldn't get through. It would like, it was just pissed.
Yeah, it was angry.
So we're making strides there. It made the first pull I ran at 6,200 RPMs, but I forgot to hit record, so I just kept it running. Made a second pull, and I ran it to like 5,500. We have an issue with our intake air temp sensor is reading incorrectly, so we're gonna change that before we turn it up. It was reading like 40 degrees. It's not 40 degrees inside there.
And what's weird is it wasn't reading negative 40 degrees.
No, it was just like, it was just wrong. I wonder if the
I wonder if the setup is
like the wrong gauge.
Yeah.
We'll look into that. Cause I don't think we have looked at it because yeah, I think we had to because we were talking about how decent the intercooler was.
80 degrees.
How impressed are you with this intercooler, or sorry, with this radiator and fan combo? Made 2 back-to-back pulls, coolant temp 110 degrees.
I think that radiator is just like a generic aluminum radiator for some car. It's definitely not a Mustang, but it's like I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. I've seen them a million of them. You can get them off eBay.
Yeah.
But it's a good sized core. That fan is a ripper though.
That fan is and that's seriously what I'm learning is if you have a badass fan, your car's gonna stay cool. That's a Z06 motor. I mean, that thing, you could feel that thing blowing air at the back of the car.
Yeah, the fan is like the unsung hero of any cooling system on any car. People buy these like, they come in like a white plain box, Chinese, like, and you can't even,
they don't work.
The lights don't even dim when it turns on.
No. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna go over to our boost. I'm gonna look at boost versus time, and I'm just going to go 5 across the board. And we'll start off with 5 on the dome. And there we are. So now when I flip this on, it goes to 5 and stays there. A little fun trick, you change this last number. So here's your time. You change this last number to 10, right? Which like generally you wouldn't get to 10 seconds in a pass, and Devin showed me this, and you drag it down to 0, and that alleviates the dome pressure from just like sitting there. Me personally, I like to have the dome pressure on there all the time, because when I flip my boost controller on, I want to look at my dash and make sure I got good dome pressure. But this one here, like if you watch me turn it on, there's going across, and when it gets to 10 seconds, it's ramping back down to it. So that's just one way you can do it. I like to keep it up there at 5.
You're only in the car for like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we'll all right, let's make a pull.
All right.
I can't imagine it's that hot. So all right, we got 5 on the dome. Should see more horsepower. I'm gonna try to hold it to 6,000 RPM, 6,200, and we should be good. All right, so the first pull I made, I forgot to start the log on the dyno. The second pull was good because you were yelling at me. The third pull, I forgot to start it in the Holley, but we were able to look at the learn table, and it made between 6 and 8 pounds boost, made 500 horsepower on the dot, ran it out to 6,200 RPMs, 120 some mile an hour.
It's so good now.
Did you hear that? You heard the gate stay shut, made a little more power.
And you heard the converter work.
Yeah.
Do its thing, like.
So the next one we're gonna go to 10. We'll go 10 on the dome.
Yeah,
and we fattened it up. We added some fuel because it was on 6 pounds. It was what, 12? I think it was 12.8 across the board. So we added some fuel to it. We're not checking spark plugs because we're making 500 horsepower.
It's a lot easier to just have it pull it out rather than add to it.
Yeah, so we're but other than that, I mean, everything's running good. Dome pressure's working good. The car, after making 3 pulls, is 153 degrees.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with it.
Everything's working good.
All right, getting ready to make another pull. We're going to put 10 on the dome. I'm gonna log in the ECU and I'm gonna log on there, and we're gonna have a good, nice clean pull here, and we're gonna get some good data. It made 500 last pull. So what do you think? We put double the dome pressure. It makes 570. Pretty happy?
Probably make more than that.
It's just starting to light up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make some power and see how it goes. Hopefully the audio is good. This fan and that fan throw the audio to all my cameras off and make me sound like I'm underwater. So I'm hoping this one's good. And if it's not, you're just gonna have to struggle through a 20-minute video of shitty audio. That's just how it is, Ben. All right, good little rip there. Made 600. The converter's tight, and you can see where it tightens up because it pulls a lot of power out of it on the graph. But it comes up, makes 600, and then it holds like 575 all the way across. Maybe drops just a little bit, but we are a little fat. Air fuel, we are like 12.0 at 12 pounds of boost.
That was almost 130.
Yeah, mile an hour. Dude, the gear is perfect.
It ended up being spot on.
The gear is, we couldn't ask for a better gear for a 20-inch tall tire. Ben was on the gear ratio calculator.
Yes.
I mean, we've run the 373 before, and it's worked well, but we've also run through the quarter mile with the 373. We're not running any quarter mile stuff, all 8th mile stuff, and I mean, we can go through the traps at 7,000 on this motor.
I feel like this converter was pretty respectable as far as like, you're not gonna blow through it.
Yeah.
Like, blowing through it's for like inferior parts.
It's still tight. So as we go up on horsepower, hopefully that dip will come out of it and it'll just hold steady, and that's gonna be where we run it. But I mean, everything's good. I'm getting my feet wet with the tuning side of it, pulling a little bit of fuel out. I added 7% fuel, and you could see a couple spots where it was rich and the Holley pulled some out. So I backed it off. I pulled 4% out of it. So total of 3% fuel from pretty much, I don't know, like 6 pounds of boosting up. We added a little bit. So now we're good. I'm going to add another 5 to the dome, and we'll let it cool off, and then we'll make another pull. So next pull, right there, we picked up 100 horsepower, so add another 5 more. It's a game of diminishing returns, so it's not going to pick up 100 horsepower every 5 pounds of dome you add. So I mean, if it makes 650 on the next one, I'd be happy, and hopefully we're shooting low and it makes more. Yeah. All right, we got 15 on the dome. Gonna make another pull here. Everything cooled down. Everything is feeling nice, and ooh, I think I could tighten that up some. It's got a little play in it. I think it's the wrong flange on there, but it's doing the job. It's holding it on there. Everything is doing good. Coolant temp's good. Made some good power. Again, we went from 10 to 15 on the dome. I got some MSD spark plug wires coming later tonight, so I'll put them on before we go to the track tomorrow. But fingers crossed, we get off the dyno, everything's good, and then we can get it ready to go to the track tomorrow. All right, y'all, just made 670 right there with 15 pounds of dome pressure. We are messing with the PID program, and that is pretty much how fast the boost control solenoids react. And Ben's messing with it there between our launch boost and our overall boost. And as you can see, it's got a spike right here. It made 680 pretty much. But this right here, it's just it's not opening the gates fast enough, so it's just making a little bit more boost. It's going up about 20 pounds boost. And you pretty much hold it, and I mean right there, I mean it'll make 700 and some on 20 pounds of boost. So 15 pounds overall. Down here it makes 600, 615. So as you can see, as we go up and boost, right here it's regulated. It's all the same, but right here it's just a boost spike. So we're trying to get that out. You guys can hear it when it makes the pull, where it comes up and goes real loud, crazy, then it kind of dies off. And that is, I mean, that's just what it's doing. Our fuel is within 5% correction, so we're all good with that. And we're gonna keep getting it dialed in. But right now the biggest thing is just getting that dome pressure, mess with the PID and getting that all set up right.
Oh, that's lightning.
Lightning. So pretty much what happens is you have that valve, which we talked about in the last video, and we put CO2 pressure on top, and as it starts making a ton of power, it starts to push that valve up, and what that does, there's already CO2 in there, and it pushes and compresses that air up against the sensor, so it reads higher. You need to get your PID program set up accurately, so as it does that, it lets the gate open. So right now it's applying pressure, and it's releasing CO2 too late, and it's helping hold that valve shut and not letting the wastegate ventilate enough to regulate that boost, because the goal is to get that spike out. You want it to come up and be a nice curve and then hold flat line. You don't want to see this, and that's why on wastegate it just does off spring. So wastegate, see how it's just nice and steady? That's how you want this to be. You want it to come up and be nice and steady and hold the power through. All right, gonna make one more pull and then we'll do the rest of the tuning track side. Ben messed with the PIDs. We're gonna see if we can get that little hump out of there and get it reacting a little bit quicker. But other than that, I'm gonna put 20 on the dome, make a pull. It should make between 15 and 20 pounds boost, and I'm hoping it doesn't have that spike in it. So we'll see right now, and hopefully all goes good. I gotta change the location of the dome pressure sensor because it's hanging a little low right now. Other than that, we would be track ready. I gotta switch the bump box and the trans brake buttons, and we'll be good. All right, y'all, made some good power, made like 750, and we still got a bunch of horse pressures left to go. We're gonna get off the dyno. I gotta change a few things. I gotta change the position of the sensor, and I gotta change the bump box and trans brake, and we'll be good to go to the track. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, comment, subscribe. We're going racing all weekend. We'll see you in tomorrow's upload.
If you understand, you know.